Hi guys, this is Britt. Um, I just wanted to come on. I've never made a video. This is going to be the first time. But I just wanted to come on because last night we just experienced the end of an era. So I just thought that I would add my little 2 cents in on the PLL finale and the show as a whole. So let me start off by saying that I was such a big fan of PLL from the pilot. I loved the show. I was such a big fan. Everybody knew it. Everybody would tease me about it. My sister and I would watch it religiously because it was such a great show. It was so well done. It was the world of the show was so different than what we had on TV, and it was so realistic that you could really see all these things happening um, to you, and you could imagine how you would react with these girls. Um, Last night's episode, let's just talk about that for a second. It was basically the twin theory that everybody had suspected. So I was really shocked that they went there. I saw it. I didn't want it to be the twin theory. I didn't want it to be the twinser. I didn't want it to be that. I didn't want to see another twin at all, to be quite honest. I it had been done, and for a long time Allie had been suspected to have a twin. Turns out it was Mrs. De Laurentiis, her mom. So I was kind of over the twin theory thing, but the fans called it. So there it is. So basically, Spencer had a twin that had been running around trying to steal her life and just pretend to be her. Um, and that was that was the AD reveal. AD was Alex Drake, Spencer's twin, and Cece's sister, their sister. Um, so in the episode, we see Mona gets released and Hannah takes her in, and Caleb was not happy about it through the entire episode. He was just like snarky and didn't like that at all. At this point, I was kind of like, just Caleb, come on, just enough. Like, everybody just lay off Mona. She gets released. They throw a dinner for Ezra and Arya because they are getting married. We saw that back in a couple episodes that they were engaged. So they're getting married finally. We have this dinner, and everybody's talking about, what marriage is going to be like, and da 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 da. All the couples go off to do their own thing towards the end of the night. That felt like fluff to me, honestly. I didn't want to see that. I really just wanted to just know the answers. I really didn't care about the couples hooking up. I mean, we'd seen them hook up. I'm happy that they all got their happy ending. I'm happy for Emily, even though I'm not a fan of Emerson, and don't hate me for that, but I just wasn't. Um, but I'm happy that she got her happy ending. So I knew that she was going to get her happy ending, so I didn't need to see that in this episode. I felt like I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see Ezra and Arya. Like, I didn't care, honestly. But I get it. They were setting up Spencer and Toby's scene. Spencer and Toby, they go off and play chess and all that. And Spencer's just being really kind of forward with Toby at this point. And he himself is kind of like, what's going on? Why is she being, so forward with me? But he's going with it. We find out that Hannah and Caleb are trying to get pregnant. A little bit later, we find out that Arya actually cannot have children, and she almost doesn't marry Ezra because of it. We see Allie and Emily having their little domestic home life with the twins, who didn't look a thing like Emily, which was kind of weird since they were biologically her kids. But okay. They're having their little domestic life. Allie and Emily's mom are being a little bit suspect, and I was kind of like, oh God, don't tell me that, because she was like, I just want to make sure that Em always has family with you. And I was like, are they killing Mrs. Field off? Like, they're going to wait this long and kill her off? Like, I seriously did not know where they were going with that, and I was just like, don't kill her off. Like, just please don't kill her off. I was never a real big fan of Pam, but I just did not want to see that in the finale. Like, I did not want to see a parent, dying in the finale. I didn't. So they're being a little suspect, having their little meetings. Um, what else do we see? Then we see, you know, Ezra's really upset about Arya not telling him that she couldn't get pregnant. He kind of was like, we could have gone through this together. And she said, well, this was something about me that I thought you wouldn't be able to accept. So please understand that. He walks off. We later see that, Arya is in her wedding dress and everything like that. And Ezra just doesn't show up. By this time, Alex has been revealed. We also had a reveal. We saw Melissa and Spencer talking. We also had a reveal that Mona was actually Black Hoodie again, which I didn't suspect her doing anything to the girls, even though she was Black Hoodie. Like, I've trusted Mona since she got better, because she was just the smartest one in the show, and she really actually tried. She really wanted to help the girls. And she was really loyal to Hannah. So I didn't suspect her, even though she was Black Hoodie and donning a Melissa mask, which the masks, I did not enjoy the masks from day one with that old creepy guy with the glasses. I just was like, really? Okay. So she's been pretending to be Melissa and, you know, mini A, I guess, to figure out who AD is. Um, we we see, so we get the big reveal. How we get the big reveal was sort of crazy, because that night with Spencer and Toby, we see Spencer, in her shower, coming out of her shower, and we're like, but wait, didn't we just see her with Toby at the engagement dinner? So how is she, what? And she's like calling out to Toby. Mona pops her in the face. She blacks out. She wakes up. Mary Drake is over her and going, "Oh, honey, we didn't think you'd, wake up that soon." She knocks her out again with something that she had of, a needle. She knocks her out. She wakes up again, thinking that she sees her reflection in a plexiglass, and then the reflection stops and boo, and says boo, and that was our big AD reveal. So Alex has just been pretending. She tells this whole story about how she met Ren and how Ren introduced her to Cece. And I didn't even know that Ren and Cece were that close, like were that connected. And I wish that they had tied it back to when he snuck her into Radley. I guess we're just supposed to imagine, just know that that's how they were connected. But I don't know. I was kind of confused about that. I didn't know that they were that close of friends. That he would just call her out of the blue and say, "Hey, I met this girl who could be your sister." I don't know. So they started having a relationship. Cece and Alex started having a relationship, a sister, bond. Meanwhile, Rand starts having a relationship with Alex, which I found really kind of far fetched in a way, because Ren had been in love with Melissa from years back, and then he was in love with Spencer. So why would he just fall in love with Spencer's doppelganger, who, is asking him to do all these crazy things? Like, I didn't understand that. Anyway, he falls for her. He ends up telling her everything about Spencer, and this leads her, to want to want to know all the little pieces of her life. Meanwhile, I guess she found out, she knows that Cece was that A at the time, and she's kind of like encouraging Cece. When Cece doesn't come back to London, because that's how Ren met her. He met her in a pub in London. She was raised there, so she has this British accent, and he thought she was Spencer. So when Cece doesn't come back to London after they've talked and bond, she gets suspicious. So that's where the whole game started, and why it was so important that when Mona confessed, that the game stopped. Because at that point, Ren was kind of like, what are you doing? Like, after all this, you have to stop. So she decided after that, she was going to go back to London and make it all stop. She obviously didn't, because we later see that she had Ren shoot her in the shoulder so that she could go back and sleep with Toby and he wouldn't suspect anything, because she had the same, gunshot wound. Um, Alex is crazy. She was just like gone. She wanted to be Spencer so badly that she just started stalking Spencer and her friends, which is kind of counterproductive if you ask me, but okay. So she ends up, keeping Spencer in this bunker underneath this house that Toby built for Spencer. Later on, Ezra gets kidnapped too. The girls are like, why didn't he show up to the wedding? What's going on? And meanwhile, Alex is pretending to be Spencer at the wedding party, and holding Emily's child, and she tells the child, "I knew you'd have your daddy's eyes," and turns out the child is Ren's. Whoa. I I still don't understand why Alex would have wanted to get Allie and Emily pregnant. Like I don't know. I'm still laughing about it. So we find out that Ren is the baby daddy. So, you know, after all this, like, there's a cop that came before the wedding party, before the wedding actually was starting, came to Allie, and Emily's house and was like, "Hey, Mary Drake has escaped. We think she has, someone helped her. If you see anything suspicious, you and your friend should be vigilant." Officer Barry on it. He came. He told you girls, and they're like, "Oh God, okay, but our friend's getting married." Allie, you know. So it really kind of bugged me that none of them thought to call the police when Ezra went missing. Like they just waited a whole day and was just calling him and everything. And even though Mary Drake was like on the loose, they didn't think to call the cops because maybe she'd have something to do with it. I don't know. That was just trippy to me. So we find out that Alex is actually kidnapped him too. I guess, he was getting suspicious and was asking too many questions. So she bumped him over the head and kidnapped him as well. Um, Later, Mona comes to the girls as well as Toby because he's got wind that this probably, is not Spencer. Like he was suspicious from the beginning when she started like coming on to him. And then he gets a call from Jenna, who actually ran into Spencer because she's a teacher at Rosewood High, apparently with Emily and Allie. And the new Allie character, the new it girl, Addison, was like bullying this deaf girl. So she wanted to find legal help for the girl through Spencer's mom, Mrs. Hastings, and that's how she encountered Alex. And she sensed that her perfume was off. Maybe she sensed it was the same perfume that the person was wearing when she met with A and said, "Oh, in game," that whole scene. So maybe that's where that was leading back to. It was such a small detail that I kind of forgot about it, so it didn't make sense to me that she was like, you know, smelling, trying to figure out Spencer's smell through her perfume and who it was through the perfume. So anyway, she calls Toby and is like, "Hey, I don't think Spencer's Spencer." So Toby agrees. He goes over with Mona, and they're all in Ezra's apartment. I think that was Ezra's apartment, and they're like telling the girls like, "Hey, something's up." And this book that Spencer gave me once, like it doesn't have anything in it, like no notes. Spencer would have done that. All this. Meanwhile, Mary Drake is in the bunker with Spencer and talking to her and telling her she can't let her out. She tries to make amends with Spencer. Spencer starts to cry. She goes in the bunker where she is. She opens it up, unlocks it, and hugs her. Spencer takes a bobby pin out of her hair, and that's how Spencer is plotting to escape with Ezra. She's gonna get them out of there. So all that's happening. Mary Drake sees, Alex and Mary Drake have an encounter, and Alex just punches Mary Drake straight in the face because she's like, screw this. She's like just fed up, I guess. She just wants to be Spencer. She was gonna keep Spencer in the bunker for as long as she could. I'm guessing, and she's just like aced that plan. She's like, forget it. I'm just gonna kill her off and live the rest of my life as Spencer, and kill Ezra too. He's there by default, so he gotta go too. And Mary's just like, look, I've been there. Don't do this. And that's when she gets knocked out. So back in the bunker, Spencer gets them out. They're running around trying to figure out how they're going to get out. They think they get out through this hatch, and they come up to this outside, and it's like, house in the back. And they're like, wait, where are we? What is this? The lights go off. Turns out they were just still inside. Everything is fake. And, you know, Alex is, running around with a hatchet or some kind of axe. She wants to kill them. So, meanwhile, the girls have taken, Mona and Toby, after they were kind of looking at Mona like, really, you were a Black Hoodie again? Like, why would you do this? And just shut up, guys. Just shut up, because she's trying to help you. Shut up. So they go off. They find the bunker. Arya leads them down. They see Spencer and Alex going at it, and everybody's just like, "Whoa, my God! There's two of them. Like, what the f?" Like I was when I first saw it. I was like, "What?" Um, so they're just standing there, and then finally they stop, and both the Spencers are trying to convince them that they're the right Spencer, and the actual Spencer starts crying, and she's looking at them like, "Guys, seriously? Like, I mean, the freaking horse and Jenna could smell it, and they didn't know that their best friend, that their best friend had been being faked for however long. I mean, it just blows the mind." So Spencer starts to cry. She starts crying, and Spencer, I guess, looking back, Spencer cries a lot. I hadn't noticed it, but apparently she does. She starts to cry. Toby grabs Alex and is like, "Hey, quote that poem from that book you gave me." She can't do it. Spencer starts to quote it in French. Everybody's like, "Oh, okay, so that's Spencer." Meanwhile, Mona has said she's called the cops. She said, and I was really happy at that point. I was like, "Yay, Mona! Somebody thought to call the cops." There was a twist to that. Um, and the cop runs in, takes Mary Drake and Alex. Well, arrests Alex, takes her off, and it ends like that. Ezra and Arya get married. There's a cameo with Marlene King, where you hear the little. It says, if anyone doesn't think this couple should be wed, speak now, forever hold at peace. The phones start to beep, and the girls are like, "Oh crap, not again!" And then in the back, you see Marlene going, "Shh, sorry, it was me," and keep going. She does a little shush. I, I really didn't care. I didn't need to see that. Like, I don't care. I was still waiting for big answers some answers to be revealed that I needed closure to. So I didn't care about the cameo. Um, they run off. Then you see them in the town square, um, talking about what they're gonna do, and Arya going on their honeymoon, and Hannah being pregnant, and Arya, Hannah even asks Arya, like, "Are you okay with that?" And she's like, "Yeah, me and Ezra, we're thinking about adopting." And so everybody's just talking about their little plans. Even Toby and Spencer trying to get their thing back together after the whole Alex thing. So everybody has their little happy ending, and they're crying because that's officially their last scene together. Um, then we see Mona, the actual last scene of the show, kind of. We see Mona in this shop in France, in this doll shop, because we all know how much she loves her dolls. And she's giving a doll to a little boy, and she tells him, "Your sister will love it." Her boyfriend comes in, who is the cop that arrested Alex. Okay. Comes in, and he's like, "Are you coming to dinner?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll be there in a second." Closes the shop, goes downstairs, starts playing with these dolls, giving them tea, and I was like, okay, batshit crazy Mona's back, but alright. Still love you, Mona. Still love Janelle. Then we see behind this glass window, Alex and Mary Drake drinking some teas. She's got her little dolls back, and Mary's like, "She can't hold us here forever." And Alex is like, "What are you talking about? Of course she can. She's Mona," in that accent. And it goes off Mona like her little smug smile, and I was like, I was okay with that. I was okay with that ending because Mona was the original A. The game was stolen from her, so it's only fitting that she get the game stolen back. Ups to you, Mona. I loved it. She slayed it. She always slayed every episode she was in. Kill it till the end. I loved it. So we always get this ending A credit scene. This I could have kind of did without because I really just I didn't care. But Previously in the episode, we find out that Maya has a niece, Hadley St. Germain, who Emily talks to about not being friends with Addison. She kind of tells her, like, your aunt was so courageous, and that's why I loved her. And one of the things that I loved about her was she was kind. So you don't have to be with this Addison girl. Like, you don't have to do this. Her and her friend Willow, I think, was like, well, she picked us, so we're just going to go with it, and, we're just going to be friends. So at the end, they're asleep in this shed. Hallie wakes up. She looks around. She's like, "Hey, where's Addison and Willow?" Um, she sees somebody coming toward her. The other girls are waking up, like, "What's going on? What happened there?" She's like, "I don't know." She walks toward them and says, "Oh, Addison," and she's like, "No, I went looking for her. I couldn't find her." And she's like, "What do you mean? Where is she?" She's like, "I don't know. I thought I heard her scream." And it was the pilot. The ending was the pilot. Okay. So the episode wasn't terrible. The storylines didn't add up, like it didn't make sense. I was hoping that they would take us all the way back to season one, as to that night that this whole stalking thing started. I didn't appreciate that it was just like somebody from the last 10 episodes. Like, I didn't appreciate that. I really wanted to be somebody that would tie in. And I really wanted to see how Ren was tied in, because he had been shady from the get-go, guys. I mean, he's hot and everything, but he'd been really shady from the get-go. Like, drawing red coat and all that. So is that, did he know Cece for longer than we think he did? I don't know. I wanted all that to add up. I really wanted to know what happened to Bethany Young, why she was killed, why she pushed Mrs. Kavanaugh off that building. Like, we never got the answers to that. I wanted to know what Maya knew. Why was that so important? Why was her death and Allie's so compared? Why was it so similar? Even the songs. And they even brought that song back up when Arya was telling Ezra that she couldn't have kids. Like, that same little song was in there. Why? Like, they didn't give us any answers for that. I did. I was laughing through the episode because I kind of felt like the storylines were kind of ridiculous and laughable. But that being said, I am going to miss the show. I am going to miss theorizing about it. I am going to miss being just completely confused on Wednesdays when I woke up just like, really, what did I watch? I'm going to miss seeing all these characters in this world, because it really was an awesome world that they created. I just wish that they had executed it better and not have been like grasping for straws for so long. That's why I stopped watching after season 4, and then kind of had a binge when I heard about it being the last season in season 7. Like, season 7 at the end of A, I was like, well, fine, this is the end of season 7A. I'll just binge watch season 6 so I can catch up. And it kind of just, none of it had any relevance to the end, so I really didn't need to do I really did need to do that. But I am happy with Mona's resolution. I'm happy that she got to be A once again. I'm happy that we got to have a mention of Maya, because I'm a big Maya fan. I just liked her character. Um, I'm happy with seeing the parents again, even though they didn't explain how they got out of that basement. I was happy to see them. Um, and I'm just overall happy that, the craziness of the show is done. It's an end of an era. I think it wasn't a terrible episode, so I think they have that going for it. I just wish that the storyline had made more sense. Like, I think if Melissa had been A the whole time, it would have made sense, because, if they wanted to go with the sister not disliking the sister theory, Melissa hated Spencer. She had really good reason to, since season 1, since the pilot. So I thought that would have made more sense instead of giving her a twin. Or even Melissa could have been the twin in hiding or something. Like, I would have been okay with that. But it is what it is. Um, I would have liked Lucas to have a bigger part, especially because the whole comic book thing that was brought up, and then after he gave his alibi and told the girls what was going on, it was gone, and it was just irrelevant again. And I just wish we had gotten a few more clearer answers. This video is going on really long. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for letting me rant. I will miss the show. It's the end of an era. PLL Army was awesome. I'm glad to have been a part of the family. Season 1, Season 2, by far my favorite seasons of all. I'm happy for the actresses and actors and the writers, producers to have been able to work on a show so long, because that is rare, especially for a show like that coming on with so many deaths, and they really stuck it out. They really did. So I am happy for them. Um, God, I'm gonna miss it. I'm not gonna know what to do with myself. Like, it hasn't hit me that it's over, but weeks to come after there's no more Pretty Little Liars, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's really over. So I am gonna miss that. Um, it's the end of it. It is what it is. We can't. I guess we're not gonna know what happened to some of these stories, and I guess that's okay, because life is like that. Even though this is a show and you want to have all those loose ends tied up, but it is what it is. I mean, all I can do is laugh about it, really, because, you know, that's it. So thank you guys for letting me rant. Team Caleb all the way. Always been a Caleb fan. Happy they were happy at the end. I wasn't an Emerson fan, but I am happy that Emily got her happy ending. I am happy for Spoby. I'm happy that, you know, Azaria was able to stick it out. So I'm happy that the characters were happy in the end. Even Mona in her twisted way. So I do appreciate that. I wish everybody good luck that worked on the show, from the key grip to the person who, you know, parked the cars or washed the everything. I wish everybody good luck in their next ventures. I'm gonna miss the actresses. Love them. Thought Troyan killed it in this last episode. She'd been killing it, but she really showed us her skills. So I appreciate that. And I just appreciate the world that they gave us every Tuesday. So thank you guys so much for watching. And until we can find another show to be as obsessive over as we were, PLL, see you guys later.